Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Ready? All right, this is awesome.
So today we're going to be talking about 4-H. How and when did you start in 4-H?
We're at the Minnesota Historical Society today with a group of 4-H'ers from the area, the metro area, participating in what we're calling the 4-H Intergenerational Podcast Project. The 4-H'ers are spending 5 days on site at the Minnesota Historical Society, and sort of like a camp. The 4-H'ers are learning the skills of interviewing and storytelling as part of this, and then we'll interview our 4-H alumni and produce an edited piece, an audio piece interview that people in the state of Minnesota can then listen to either online or at the 4-H building during the state fair later this year. Today, the alumni came and joined the kids for lunch, so they got time to get to know one another in a kind of fun atmosphere, and then went off into a separate room and had their official interview.
I interviewed Margaret Anderson Kelleher, who was the Speaker of the House, right over there. And I also found out from her that she was a state ambassador like I was for the past 2 years. And it was a lot of cool learning from her and talking to her about her experiences in 4-H.
If you are organized and you know how to organize and be effective, a lot like you did in 4-H, things can change. And so it was really important to what I ended up doing.
That's really cool. So your experience in 4-H helped you become a better woman in politics.
Yeah.
I think it's very valuable because we can learn from everyone's experience, and especially with someone who's been through this entire 4-H process and use those skills. It's nice to see that what we're doing now is definitely going to benefit us later.
You will find most 4-H alumni are eager to connect with current 4-H'ers, learn about what they're doing, share the stories from their experience.
And the reason I came to do it is because I really owe a lot of who I am to my experience in 4-H. There's no doubt about it. I wouldn't have done half of the things I've done in my life. I wouldn't have done 2/3 of the things I've done in my life if it weren't for my experience in 4-H. And so if I can help somebody else have a better experience, and if I also get to talk about that great experience I had and somebody can learn something from that, I love doing that.
They're also building relationships that way. They've already connected. Many of the alumni are sharing their information and going to have relationships with the kids outside of this as maybe mentors.
Margaret is such a sweet person. She was so much fun to talk to. And she actually, at the end, she gave me her card and she was telling me to keep in touch with her and that she would be willing to help me with anything that if I needed it. Today and tomorrow we will be putting all that stuff that we got in the interview and all the skills that we learned and putting those together to make our final project.
As kids growing up and
Okay, so maybe I could do it. It taught me about the different experiences kids have growing up. Okay, that's gonna take a while to edit.
It's a complex system or a complex software, so it's taking a little bit of time for all of us to get used to it and to figure out what each thing means and all these different things that we can do with it. But it's a new experience and it's a lot of fun.
being able to be a technologically literate person, whether years ago it was based on the farm equipment you were using or it's based on the recording equipment of today, the way that people communicate with each other today, podcasts, using that podcast and then tweeting it out there so that a whole new group of people are hearing about 4-H. I think that's really great. And I think this is just a continuation of what the mission of 4-H has always been, which is hands-on learning.
We worked a lot and we had a lot of fun doing it, and we hope that not only our generation, but generations to come can benefit from learning that 4-H hasn't changed and it still has those same values and skills that we will continue to keep using and keep building.